Hey guys, welcome back to Fully Committed TV. Today we are going to make overnight oats. Now I do my overnight oats very differently. I'm also doing this one for gains, okay? But I'm going to show you how to cut the calories. The only reason I say that is because when I went to go get the almond milk, I realized we only had, I would say men's version, but it's really Evan's version because this is just way too many calories for me, which is 80 calories. But I'm going to show you what this will look like, and then I'll show you how you can obviously like taper it down for, you know, better looking girls. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so first thing is I take a jar. You can use a mason jar. This was a jelly jar that once it's done, we cleared it out. And I start with my liquids. So I use a cup. This is one serving, okay? So I use a cup of almond milk, and I just spilled it everywhere, but that's okay. So you have to be careful with what you use to pour into this jar because you can make a huge mistake of just using a regular measuring cup, and it's really annoying to get the oats and everything in. I've made that mistake a million times. This is a protein version of oats, okay? So this is great right after a workout. Here's a full cup of protein. I use about half of a full scoop, okay? Or a little less even. That is dependent on you, okay? But it depends on how much protein you need. I use a half a scoop. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of coconut nectar, maybe 1 drop. Now the reason I like to add the protein is because if you have flavored protein, it does a lot of like the sweetness and stuff as opposed to adding all these sugars and other things. Now, I also like to add hemp seeds. 3 tablespoons is a serving. I don't use 3 tablespoons. I use about half of that. Tablespoon. I use about half of that. So like 1.5. Okay, still with the liquids. Now I go to my rolled oats, but before I do that, I want to mix this together. So I'm just gonna cover it and shake it. Really, you're supposed to use a spoon, but I didn't have one on hand, but this is a great way to do it. So you mix up the proteins and all your powders with the milk. Then we're gonna get a cup of the oats, okay? Now, it's the same part liquid as it is oat, so just know that. It's not that hard. That's my cup. It's gonna go into my jar. So here's what I was talking about. I'm using a plastic one so I can kind of pinch the edges because it gets really super annoying to do. Okay, cover it. My jar's a little tight. And then I'm gonna shake it up, mix it in, open it, and get the rest of my oats in there. All right. Now, the good thing about overnight oats is I'm showing you a basic recipe. You can add any kind of nuts, fruit, whatever you want after. I'm also gonna show you what that looks like. But this is like your core overnight oats, right? Now, when you put this in the fridge overnight, hold on, you get this in the morning. Do you see how it sits? Yes, I love it like this. It's my favorite thing ever. Now, because I use the protein, I don't use the yogurt. I'm really not a big fan of yogurt. Do I like the way it tastes? Yes, but I don't think it's the best thing for me. So I really choose not to use it. So this is what you get when you don't use the yogurt and you use the protein, which is really great. Now, in the morning, when you take this out and you eat it and you put it into a bowl when it's like this, I then like to add my fruit. So I like to slice up a banana, put it on top, slice up some walnuts or dried cranberries and make that pretty little Instagram-worthy picture everyone likes to make. That's when you do that, all right? So you can always do this without protein too. I'm gonna show you another version with no protein. So I'm gonna take my milk again. You can use water if you want, or half almond milk, half water if you're cutting calories. It really doesn't matter as long as your liquid and your oats match in terms of measurement. So I'm gonna do this again. Now this is a smaller jar and I consider this like a snack or a pre-workout. So this time I'm not gonna use the protein because it is a pre-workout. You can have protein before your workout if you're, I don't know, a man or just really trying to make gains. I personally don't. Here's where I'm gonna add the coconut nectar, which again, I'm just gonna use 1 squirt because I'm not gonna use the protein. And then in this one, I'll add some hemp seeds again. Now, like I said, you could add more to this. You could add peanut butter and make this a peanut butter chocolate one if you wanted to add little chocolate chips. You can do this a million different ways. I've seen people do carrot cake, overnight oats, strawberries, whatever you want. So this is a small one, shake it up. These two go in the fridge overnight, and the next day, like I said, you overnight oats. Okay, thanks guys, subscribe.